Americans overwhelmingly oppose war with Iran, and Senate Republicans have a duty to stand up for Americans by forcing Donald Trump to reverse course. Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth as they bumble us headfirst into another war.
What Schumer, who's horrible, what a horrible politician. He is now a Palestinian officially. He is registered as a Palestinian. He's taken the biggest turn of any human being I've ever seen. He's gone from totally pro-Israel to totally pro-Palestinian.
What started as a political speech quickly turned into one of the most talked about moments in recent media coverage. Donald Trump took direct aim at Chuck Schumer, and the reaction from the crowd said everything. During a live event, Trump criticized Schumer's stance on key issues, including U.S. foreign policy and election laws, framing it as inconsistent and politically driven. But it wasn't just the criticism that grabbed attention, it was the tone, the delivery, and the crowd's response. At one point, Trump made a remark about Schumer's shifting positions that triggered loud laughter from the audience, instantly turning the moment into a viral clip. Moments like this don't just stay in the room, they spread fast, especially when they combine political tension with strong audience reaction. And that's exactly what happened here. Because beyond the jokes and reactions, this moment taps into a larger political narrative, one about leadership, consistency, and how politicians are perceived by the public.
As president, nobody ever asked me for money. And as president, as president, you sort of don't make campaign contributions. It doesn't even. But I heard you were at $19 million today. I said, has that ever been done? No, sir, it's a record, but 20 would sound better, right, Mike? Yes. He said, I'm going to give you $1 million. It's the first time I've done it. I never did it before. I never did it before. I never did it before. Now I'll be hit up by every political group, every Republican running. Sir, could I have some, give me a little cash. I'll have Emmer come up to me and say, how about a little cash for my campaign? I will no longer have the excuse that as president, anyway, no, but we had to hit the 20, right? We had to hit the 20. That was a hell of a thing. You beat it by a lot. You beat the record, the previous record by a lot. But I want to thank House Republicans for passing another common sense measure, to me the easiest of all, the Save America Act, to protect our sacred American. Look at this. Look. It's the easiest thing we have. It's the easiest thing we have. Now, the problem is you call it the SAVE Act, and nobody knew what the hell the SAVE Act. Have you been seeing, I've been working overtime the last month. It's called the Save America Act. And I saw Schumer yesterday, we will stop Save America. He's getting killed. They can't do it. And then the things within the Save America are so good. But just the title. So we had that with MAGA. Greatest name of all time. Make America Great Again. MAGA. It just worked. You know, I had something, Keep America Great. It was good, but it didn't have that MAGA. You know, there was nothing you could see. I had CAG. And CAG, I said, you know, no longer, that's not good. But MAGA is great, and we'll always respect MAGA. We love MAGA. We're never going to let you down with MAGA. But this one's even better if you think about it. This says, America. We're going to save America. The Save America. How can they fight us? The Save America Act. And I've watched them. I watched Schumer, who's horrible. What a horrible politician. He is now a Palestinian officially. He is registered as a Palestinian. He's taken the biggest turn of any human being I've ever seen. He's gone from totally pro-Israel to totally pro-Palestinian. He wants to protect the Iranian people that are quite nasty. But it's very simple. All voters must show the act. Voter ID. Ready? This is not complicated. Voter identification. Now, I have a whole list, but I don't want to put, I have like hundreds of things on the list. If you go shopping, if you do this, if you buy a car, if you license a car, if you point to everything you need to have identification. So all voters have to show identification, ID. All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. So you have ID and you have citizenship. So far, good. No mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. Mail-in ballots are a disaster. Jimmy Carter, the best thing he ever did, he headed a commission after he was president. It was the single best thing, and he did a thing on mail-in ballots. He said mail-in ballots should not be allowed because they are inherently dishonest. And we have seen it time and time again, and we just keep going with it. And I put that down as a top 3. Look, no mail-in. Now, you have the exceptions for the military, and I would even say foreign-based military. But for the military, for disability, for illness, and if you're traveling, you have an excuse. And I was lenient on that. But those 3 things. Then I added 2 more. These are best of, best of. These are called best of Trump. We should also add on to this bill. And so what I've asked Mike to do is to draw a new one with these few things added. And let's go for the gold. Let's not just get one like voter ID, but, it can be given to you by your daughter. Your daughter, she has to be of age, like above 6 years old, she's allowed to say. You had to see some of this stuff is so bad. They're doing everything possible because they know if we get this, they probably won't win an election for 50 years, okay? And maybe longer. And they're going to fight like hell. But boy, do they get killed. Because even the Democrats, you saw the numbers today, Democrats voted 86% that this stuff should be passed. The Democrats. With Republicans, you're at 98%. But Democrats are at 86, except for the people that run the Democrat Party, because they want to try and win elections illegally. It's the only reason you vote against voter ID is because you want to cheat. There's no other reason. They come up with reasons. They say, it's racist. That's their number one, racist. Then you have to explain it, and they're just sitting there mumbling. They can't explain it. And it's actually very insulting when they use the term racist. Very insulting to the people that they're trying to so-called defend, but they're not defending. Then I wanted to add 2 more to it because they're, I say 95%, maybe 100%. No men in women's sports, very simple. Add that in. And I wanted to add in one other, I'm not even adding in no open borders because, there's some people that like open borders. These people are crazy, but that's okay. Because I want 5 things that are like close to 100%. No transgender mutilation surgery for our children. You can't have transgender for our children. So those 5 things. 5 things. Voter ID, citizenship, mail-in ballots, no mail-in ballots. Right? We don't want men playing in women's sports. That's got to be about close to 100%. We don't want men playing in women's sports and no transgender mutilation of our children. Now, that should be the easiest thing to get past that you've ever had. Each one, it's best of Trump. Those are best of Trump. I have some that are very popular, but I wouldn't put them in that category. This is the number 1 priority. It should be for the House. And I'd like to ask Tom, Steve, Mike, all of you, if you would, I'd like to have you go back and Lisa, hello, darling. She was screaming her affirmation of what I said. The kid went wild. She was so happy that somebody finally said, let's vote on this. Lisa, you're going to get it done. Okay, I'm going to count on you. Forget the men up here. I'm going to count. Deal. But it's actually a matter in a serious way of national survival. We can't have these elections going on like this anymore. You use paper ballots. If right now they have watermark, it's so safe, it's so good. You put it gets under a light. It says, a code. It's very, very hard to cheat. Another thing, and I don't even bring this up, it costs 7% the cost of those crazy machines. You know, I love the machines where they get the machines, they spend all this money, and they announce during the election that the tabulation will go along for another 3 weeks, right? With mail-in voting, you know, there's not a country in the world that does mail-in ballots anymore. They tried it. France tried it. It failed. They go to paper ballots. They're all doing paper ballots.
This exchange highlights a familiar pattern in modern political discourse, where messaging, perception, and crowd reaction often carry as much weight as policy details. Trump's criticism of Schumer centered on two key themes. First, foreign policy, particularly how the United States approaches countries like Iran. Trump framed his approach as one of strength and pressure, while portraying Schumer's position as inconsistent or overly cautious. Second, election policy, including debates around voter identification and election security. These are issues that continue to divide political opinion across the country. But what made this moment stand out wasn't just the content, it was the delivery. Trump used humor, repetition, and sharp phrasing to connect with the audience, while the crowd's reaction amplified the message in real time. On the other side, Schumer's broader political stance reflects a different approach, one that emphasizes diplomacy, institutional processes, and legislative negotiation. The contrast between these styles is what fuels moments like this. Because in today's media environment, how something is said can be just as impactful as what is said. And when a crowd reacts strongly, whether through applause or laughter, it often shapes how that moment is received beyond the event itself. In the end, this moment goes beyond a single speech or a single exchange. It reflects the ongoing divide in American politics, not just in policy, but in communication style, leadership approach, and public perception. For supporters of Trump, moments like this reinforce the image of a leader who speaks directly and challenges political opponents openly. For critics, it raises questions about tone, rhetoric, and the impact of political messaging in a highly polarized environment. But regardless of where you stand, one thing is clear. Moments like this resonate because they combine politics with emotion, and that's what drives engagement, conversation, and ultimately, influence. And as long as that dynamic exists, exchanges like this will continue to shape how political narratives unfold in real time. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think this moment was effective political messaging, or just crowd-driven theater? Backhand index pointing down. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more breakdowns of major political moments, speeches, and viral exchanges, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because more analysis is coming.